Ah. So, why are we here? Come here to this place, to this monastery. Where did we ordain? Each one of us has its reason. Why we come here. And maybe if you stayed long enough, we tend to forget the reason. We assimilate with this kind of life. We find it comfortable to live. And then we don't have too much motivation to practice. It's a nice life, once you get accustomed to this kind of life, a nice life. And the motivation that brought us here might have been forgotten. So there's no real energy going into our practice, into the practice of sati and pañña. Sati and pañña are the two weapons that can defeat the kilesas. If we don't have sati, we don't see. If we don't have pañña, we cannot deal with the tricks of the kilesas. They constantly fool us. They constantly lead us astray. So we have to gather once in a while, or maybe even every day. We have to gather our strength to fight the kilesas, to fight our laziness, and to develop the sati that we need to see. Running around like blind puppies, that's not the way. Following the programs of our robot, that's not the way. That's not the way to end dukkha. The way to end dukkha is Sati-pañña. It is this awareness that is aware of the things that are going on within our heart, not the awareness of what is going on around us. Being interested in being interested of what is going on around us. That keeps it. If you're interested in what is going on around us, keeps it going and going and going, and we don't come to the inner stillness, we don't come to the inner peacefulness of our heart, and we don't see what is going on in our heart. We just live in a parallel universe, thinking our life. Defining our lives through thoughts and memories, through associations, but not really being in the present moment, in this very present moment. And maybe we don't want to be in this present moment because there's so much dukkha, or we experience the dukkha of this present moment. We experience the dukkha that the kilesas create for us, in order to lead us astray. It's nice to think about something, about the future, what I am going to do when I finish my 5 years of monkhood or 10 years of monkhood, then I can go home, and teach and so on. Or just living, without any goal. Just living in the day, like we say in German. Sati is the most important thing, and it seems to be so difficult to develop. We always fall back on our programs. We know how to do things. When we become monks, we normally have more sati. The moment we ordain, everything is new, so we have to have this awareness. And we have to change our way of life. We have to change the way that we eat. We have to change the way, that we wash our robes or take care of our robes. We have to learn a lot of things. How to wash robes, how to take care of our body, and so on and so on. Once we get accustomed to it, then the programs are fixed, and then we just go and live ahead, falling asleep, while our body is working, or while the kilesas are working, while the conditions are working, not realizing really what is going on. That is one of the reasons why the training for Dhammatalk is so important. There you can really learn, how to have sati, because there's all these small little things, and our memory is never that good, to remember all the things. But our awareness, would tell us, what is necessary. We just go, whenever, we look after the Ajahn, no matter if it is the office or if it is his kuti, we go in, before we do anything, we keep still for, maybe for half a minute, and just have a look. And then we see the things, then we do it, and we have another look. And what is necessary, then we have another look, Then you will see, if you do it this way, first of all, it goes faster than running through your memories what you have to do. And you don't forget anything. That's a training of sati. When we are comfortable with one place, or when we think we know it, that's where we let astray. We think we know how this works. We think we know how we should behave as a bhikkhu. So sometimes it is good, to get into another situation. For instance, to go into another monastery, or into another place, where our sati is, awakened again. For people, who constantly need these changes, to be aware, becoming aware of a new situation, so that their old programs don't work anymore. Why do we deprive ourselves of the beauty of sati? Because it's a beauty. If we have sati, we don't have to remember all these things. What do I have to do now? What do I have to do next? What am I going to do when he says this? How am I going to react when I see him? Or see her, or whatever? We don't need to remember. We are just present moment, and in the present moment there's always one solution. Many solutions, but there is one solution that is right. And we are at peace. We don't worry. Worry comes from thought. When we worry about this or worry about that, it comes from thought. When we are afraid of this or when we are afraid of that, it comes from thoughts. Thoughts and memories, create this universe that we live in. But we want to escape. We want to escape the dukkha, the dissatisfaction. It doesn't have to be pain, it doesn't have to be suffering, it's just dissatisfaction or boredom or restlessness or whatever it is. Want to escape it, and that's why we go off in thoughts. Not realizing, that this dissatisfaction comes from our thoughts, comes from our wishes, comes from our desires. To be different than it is. We cannot change anything in reality. We cannot change, if it is raining or not raining. We cannot change if it is hot or not hot. We cannot change if it's cold or not cold. We cannot even change, if this person comes or not comes. But we constantly want these situations, that we imagine, that will bring us, happiness, and these situations will never come. And no matter, if it is a situation that we wish, for instance, for a certain kind of food, why hasn't it, been brought lately, I would like to eat it, No. It is also for our practice, Oh, yesterday was so nice, I had such a peaceful state of mind, and why can't I get into this peaceful state of mind anymore? That's already desire that creates dukkha. Or our expectations that are constantly there in our practice, when we start with the Buddha, and the mind goes off, and then we are getting dissatisfied because the mind goes off very often. Instead of, our work is just to bring the mind back to the Buddha or to the tip of the nose and observe the breath. Observing the breath as it is, observing the Buddha as it is. Knowing that the Buddha is fast, knowing that the Buddha is slow, knowing that the breath is deep, knowing that the breath is shallow, knowing that the in-breath changes to the out-breath, or the Buddha stops, and the next Buddha comes. That's a knowingness, that is the awareness, That's a knowingness, that gives us the freedom of being able to be free in every situation, no matter if it is, no matter if our conditioning, labels it as bad or good. And that's why we're constantly in trouble. About our practice. Today the practice is not going well. That is a judgment. The thought comes up, And why does this thought comes up? Our practice is not going well because we experience dukkha, but we don't want to see the dukkha, and that's why we tell ourselves that practice is not going well. And practice is just, the moment you notice that you are underway, you go back to the Buddha or go back to the breath. That is the practice, It's neither good nor bad, it's just, just the routine. Bringing the mind back to the Buddha. No matter where we are, no matter what is happening, no matter if it is hot or if it is cold, if it is rainy or if it's not, Just bring the mind back to the Buddha. Or when we're investigating the body, bringing it back to the object that we investigate. Be it the outside objects of the body, or be it life in general, being born, growing up, getting sick, growing old and die. That can be an investigation. How is our daily reflection going on? Do we catch the things, why we do the things that we are doing? From the moment we wake up, do we catch it? What is coming before our action? What is coming before we speak? That is so important for us if we want to understand how these kilesas are working. If we don't understand how the kilesas are working, we constantly fall into the traps of the kilesas. And without sati, we will not see how they work. Some of you are very good, figuring out how this technical thing works, or this technical thing works, or software works, or things like that. Yeah? There you figure it out because you're interested. Yeah? Or you want to figure out, why the solar system is like this. Yeah? Or why the world is in shadows like this. Yeah? That's what you want to figure out. You don't want to figure out how you work, You only want to know outside of yourself. Yeah? Yes, of course, we are trained to do that. Yeah? From the moment we go to kindergarten, until we are finished with school or university. And then even then, at work, we have to learn about this and we have to learn about that. Yeah? So we are constantly outside. But, when we become monks, our field of work is the inside. Yeah? Is what the hell is going on in this body? Yeah? What the hell am I doing this for? Yeah? And the daily reflection should give us a key. Yeah? Every moment, having sati, knowing what is going on in the heart, knowing when there's a sensation coming, yeah? Knowing, and seeing, being aware of the reaction towards the sensation. And the sensation can be any of these 6 senses, yeah? It can be a thought coming in, it can be a feeling coming in, it can be, yeah? can be a touch coming in. Yeah? And we constantly react to this, and we don't know our reactions because it is normal for us to react like this. Yeah? We don't know our conditioning. And if we don't have sati, we don't find out our conditioning. Yeah? So be a little bit interested, be a little bit scientific about your work. Yeah? About the work, of practicing to not to figure out, but to see and understand. Like a physicist, makes an experiment and watch what is happening. Yeah? And if he watches it, all the time long, without being distracted, he will understand at the end of the experiment what really is happening. Yeah? So before we get angry, we know that there was a thought, we know that there's a memory, coming up, yeah? And then we know the feeling of anger arising, yeah? Or even, when we are in moods, that is more difficult because the moods, normally stay on for a while. Yeah? Before we fall into a mood, there's a whole lot of thoughts, and constantly repetitive thoughts. Yeah? I don't want to see it, I don't want to see it, I'm bored with all these, yeah, and so on, these repeating thoughts, send us into a mood, yeah, and together then with memories, of similar situations. And this, if you don't polish up, if you don't sharpen our sati, we will never be able to see and constantly only react, yeah. And even that, sometimes we don't see, yeah, that we react. We don't see our excuses why they are coming up. Why do we need to make excuses? Excuses are the ways of the kilesas. If you do something wrong, then you notice you do something wrong. Yeah? Why do you need to excuse yourself? Just admit it, but admitting for us, a mistake seems to be, one of our, what is it called, teeth of our crown is falling out. Huh? Its only blemish is the ego. And if you remember, correctly, we wanted to get rid of the ego because that is the one that creates all this trouble. Yeah? And if you go into Upachara Samadhi, then we have a break from the ego. Yeah? There's nobody, trying to control us. Yeah? And that is so wonderful, we don't want to get out of the state. Yeah? We don't want to go back, where somebody constantly controls us. Yeah? And then certainly, amplified, when our teacher says something, then we get really resistant. Yeah? We don't get resistant when our kilesas tell us to do this or to do that. Yeah? We don't have any signs of resistance toward this. Yeah? And that's what we have to learn. Yeah? Resist, resist the voice of the kilesas that tell us, I should do it like this, I should do it. And it already starts in meditation. Yeah? You don't sit right, you have to shift to the left, now you have to shift to right, now you have to do it, faster, you have to concentrate more on this, and so on. Yeah? There's all this control and you like it. Huh? Why don't you start to resist that? Huh? It's not us, it's not me. Whatever you hear, whatever you see, whatever you feel, it's not me, it's not mine, it doesn't belong to me. Use this principle of anatta. Yeah? And just go on with the work. Yeah? No matter what is happening. Yeah? Just go back to the Buddha or go back to the object of investigation and see. Yeah? When we do investigation and start doing the internal or even the external 5 body parts, then we have to visualize it. And visualizing is, concentrating on the hair of the head, on the skin, or on the teeth, or on the nails, yeah? Or on the hair of the body, yeah? Concentrating until we see them. Yeah? And once we see them, we can dissect them. Yeah? Or we can observe, where is the hair coming from. Yeah? There's a skin, not all of the skin has hair. Yeah? So out of some parts of the skin comes a lot of hair. Yeah? Where's it coming from? Huh? Other parts of the skin don't have hair. Huh? Everything that is underneath the skin, we find disgusting. Everything, that is the skin, yeah. We find beautiful. We find it attractive. Then we take the skin off and we find it disgusting. Why is it? Everything that goes into the body or on the body is nice and beautiful. Yeah? Everything that comes out of the body is disgusting. But we are born like this, and we will die like this, and it really doesn't interest us. So where's your interest? Yeah? Where's your motivation? Yeah? Has it been lost? Where is it lost and why has it been lost? Because you're too comfortable. Got all the things that you need. And that's why you lost the motivation to go on, investigate, the one thing that we really should investigate. What is going on? Who tells me that I like this? Who tells me that I dislike this? Yeah? Who tells me that I have to do it like this? And who tells me that I have to do it like that? Yeah? Or don't do it? Sati keeps us informed about what is happening within our citta, even before it is happening. Because Sati knows, yeah? It's a knowing faculty. You see a condition and you know what is going to happen. Now I'm going to fall in a hole. Yeah? In the hole of, dullness or whatever, or resistance or anger. Yeah? Because you see the condition arising. Yeah? And then ask yourself, is it so pleasant, to fall in this dullness? Is this, then investigate dullness, or investigate resistance, yeah? Or investigate anger, or investigate greed. Is it such a pleasant feeling that you should, ornament you with it? Yeah? That you should attach to it? Yeah? It's always a burning desire. Yeah? No matter what it is. If it is anger, it's a burning feeling in our heart. So that means, if you like it, it means you're some sort of a masochist. Yeah? You like this, you like to punish yourself with all these feelings, yeah, that arise because you're not careful, you're not aware of what is going on. Yeah? To find some motivation for your practice, yeah. It's only for your sake, it's not for my sake. Yeah? You do it for your own sake. Yeah? You want to get free of this nagging voice, that constantly nags at you. Tells you this is not right, that is not right, this should be done like this, that should be done like that. Yeah? It's constantly nagging voice. Yeah? And you're not fed up with it. Yeah? You're only fed up with the Ajahn when he's nagging about you. Huh? Because that seems to be real. Because it's somebody else, who nags. Yeah? If it's you, or if it is your kilesas or your ego that constantly nags, you don't get fed up. And that's actually where you should get fed up. So develop the sati, and you develop the sati through the practice of samadhi, through the practice of constantly returning to your object of meditation. Yeah? That's a calm meditation. Or if it is in an investigation, to the object of an investigation. No matter if it is there of the head or hair of the body. Yeah? The nails, the teeth, or the skin. Yeah? Look at it. Yeah? And always return back to it. No matter if it is, one day it's going well and another day it's going not so well. It doesn't really matter. This is judgment, if it's going well or not so well. The important thing is not if it is going well or not so well. The important thing is that you do your work. Yeah? And if you do your work, you will get results. And the more you do your work, the better the results will be. And the faster it will be. Yeah? Think about, a child who trains, to when it cannot walk yet. Yeah? If only learns, 1 hour, 2 hours a day to learn to walk. Yeah? After 5 years, it's not finished. Maybe after 10 years. Yeah? Because it has interest, let me do this, let me do that, No, it has only interest in, a little child has only interest in learning to walk. So, it will try it out any time, Trying to get up, In the beginning, it helps, it uses other objects, to stand, yeah? And then it likes the standing, and then it tries to stand without any objects, where it can hold on to. Yeah? And that's the same thing. Yeah? Our object to hold on to is the Buddha or the breath. Yeah? And we can stay within the citta without being disturbed, without being, distracted. Okay, that's enough for today. Yeah? And do your work, get your motivation. Yeah? I really want to see you getting motivated, you getting really interested in the practice. You understand?